It's good. Good snap. Good snap. It's good. Good snap.
Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to the Good Snap podcast. I'm Xander, and with me is my tag partner and the fan favorite, Chris Zorba. Zorba, what's doing, brother?
Yeah, good, man. How are you? Nice to be back again.
Good, mate. Yeah, it's always good to be back having a chat. But today, our guest is a multiple tag team champion and a current heavyweight champion. He's one half of the Doomer Nation, and he's got a rig that I only dream of having. The women want him, and men want to be him. Goran Nikolov, how are you, brother?
Hey man, what's happening?
Good, mate. Good. What's happening?
Just finished the gym. Speaking of rigs, so I rushed home so we could do this interview, and here we are.
Where's your shake?
Yeah, let's get a plug in for the brand as well. Rule one.
Chris Zorba.
Nice.
That's
Coke.
my shake. Yeah.
Hey man, that's a good pre-workout.
I've got my
And the
kombucha there.
Yeah, healthy.
But mate, look, you're on billboards everywhere at the moment. Things are going good. We'll have a chat about your wrestling and all that sort of stuff. But mate, how did you start? When did you start watching wrestling?
Oh man, I think as a kid, dude, I think like all of us around the age of maybe 3, 4, back in the Video Easy renting days, borrowing videos, watching that stuff. I was probably like a little bit of a late bloomer compared to all the other kids. They knew what was going on. I was just watching the colorful guys jump around before I kind of put two and two together as to who was who. But then got super addicted. Who was it? Owen Hart being like my first favorite pro wrestler. Paul Owen. And then from there, just addicted to the whole action. So as a little kid, man, years and years.
Yeah, Owen Hart was one of my favorites growing up. Really underrated wrestler too. Really underrated because obviously his brother Brett took most of the limelight. But Owen, it was tragedy when he died, man. I was just, it was really bad. But
yeah, man.
But no, that's good.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, was that what was it? WrestleMania 10? I think where he wrestled Brett. That was what made me like, oh wow, that's
my mate made me watch that match because I've never seen it before, and I was hooked. I was watching. I'm like, that was a phenomenal match. That was so good.
Yeah.
So I know what you mean. That will get anyone hooked.
And it still holds today. That match, like, you know what I mean? It's a classic. Yeah.
100%.
And that was proper wrestling. Mat wrestling. It had everything in it. Which is what you want out of the match, entertainment.
Yeah, that's the kind of wrestling that I could never do. That's completely a whole different wheelhouse to my style of wrestling, but I can appreciate the technical side behind all of it.
Yeah.
So how did you actually get into the industry?
Well, man, just luck, looking, how do we start? Before I even got into the industry, about the age of 15, I wanted to be a pro wrestler. Didn't know how to become a pro wrestler, so that's when I started working out. I got lucky that my school had gym as an actual sport. So I was like, even though I might look fit and I might look jacked, I am the most uncoordinated. I'm the kid that was picked last. I'm just not athletic at all, man. And if it wasn't for my love of wrestling, I would just have the worst dad bod and be playing video games all the time. That's me, man. It's but because I wanted to be
I'm more of a gym junkie. Like, I'm in the gym 7 days a week.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, man.
I drive past the gym all the time. It's good.
Well, I mean, that's the first step, driving past, and then you just kind of pull in, and then you take it from there. It's baby steps. And it was just my love of gym, man. Love of wrestling that got me into the gym. And I was like, at least that way I can kind of build a base to looking the part, and from there, eventually, the first place I found was AWF, but didn't last too long in there. Did the beginner, tried the intermediate, but it just, again, not the most athletic kid, so I found it a struggle. After that, went to PWA, and that there's a reason why they're the best pro wrestling school probably in Australia. And my lazy ass could not keep up with any of their stuff. My unfit, uncoordinated, couldn't. And it was a combination of timing as well, because I could only go to training once per week. Just because I was working when most classes were on. I was working at a gym by that stage, and I was working afternoon shifts. So most people go to wrestling school after they finish their 9 to 5. When people were finishing their 9 to 5, I was starting mine. So I could only go on weekends, pretty much Saturdays. And if there was a show on, that meant no training. So when you combine lack of consistency with no athletic ability, it just meant, like you were on the Mick Foley career path of learning how to wrestle, which means just struggle city. So that didn't happen. And then I was probably away from actual wrestling for a good maybe 7 or 8 years until I moved to Perth. Moved to Perth for work in the fitness industry. Didn't know anyone. Had nothing really to do outside of work. By luck, there was a flyer for a wrestling show on the garage door of my apartment complex, and they said at the bottom of the flyer there was a wrestling school. So I was like, man, I got nothing to do. Now I'm working a 9 to 5. I've got no friends here. I've got no family here. I've got a buttload of free time, and I still love pro wrestling. Like at the time, I was a sales rep, so I was constantly on the road. That was when Colt Cabana's podcast was really bumping. I think Conrad Thompson had just started 1 or 2 of his podcasts. So I'm just constantly listening to wrestling. Like I'm on the road. I'm driving 8 hours a day, right, between visiting clients. So I'm constantly listening to all these podcasts, listening about wrestling. Then I see this wrestling school, start training there under Mana, NHPW. The perfect school for my capabilities. They really helped me excel at what I could do.
Yeah.
Trained there, had my first few matches there, had probably my first 2 injuries there, and actually maybe even 3, and then moved back to Sydney, man. And then slowly just started networking and getting my foot in the door.
Yeah, so that's the best way to do it. Yeah, obviously you go to a few shows here and there and talk to the people behind the scenes, and that's a good way to get into the business.
Do you know what I think the first time I seen you, Goran? Well, this is the first time we actually met, like properly. But first time I think I seen you, I think you were at Eric Bischoff when he came.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. I think I seen because I think I seen you there with. Was it TNT as well? Maybe you were there with that sort of crew. Maybe.
No,
something?
I don't even remember who I was there with. I think I was just there with a cousin or something, man.
Oh,
I mean,
okay, well,
I probably would have seen some of those boys and said hello, so you might have seen me kind of hanging out with them just for a chit chat. But yeah,
Xander wants to meet TNT. That's why.
Oh well.
Shut up.
Well, hey man, you can get your chance this weekend. But yeah,
and he's at Padstoke, my home ground. Padstoke.
Oh well, then 100% you should come down. We'll organize a meet and greet, an autograph.
Do you know what? I would, but unfortunately, my brother's getting married.
Okay.
And I'm the best man.
Well,
what do I do?
Still no excuse.
Hold on.
I can't make it, man. Sorry.
Probably like 8 or 9. There still might be a little bit of wrestling. You can catch the tail end. You can catch.
Wait, hang on a second. Wait, who are you tagging with?
Lee Moreau.
Well, that's it. We're there. We have to see the Lee Moreau.
There you go. The 2 most jacked men in all of wrestling, right? Australian wrestling.
I gave you a name.
What's that?
Jack 3D Brothers.
Jack 3D?
But with a 3D at the end. Yeah, brothers.
Wasn't that a pre-workout, Jack 3D?
Hey, how'd you know?
I think that, I've been in the industry for about 10 years.
Can I tell you a quick story on that? I know I'm deviating here.
Yeah, go for it.
So what happened was, I'm pretty sure that Jacked 3D or Jack 3D has some amphetamines or something in there that's not legal, because I'm pretty sure it's not legal in Australia. And I remember having some. And I remember having some, and it wasn't just some. This was after a big night on the alcohol. And I remember having like, I don't know, I put like maybe 4 or 5 scoops in there. And I'm telling you, I was buzzing.
4 or 5 scoops.
Yeah, I was buzzing for about
Jesus.
12 hours.
Jesus.
I thought I was on like. Anyway, I'm not going to say it here because maybe there's some kids listening, but I'm telling you what, I was flying.
Yeah, man. So that product had an ingredient called 1,3-dimethylamine, I think. The short name was DMAA, which became illegal about 5 years ago in Australia. It was kind of like a natural version of meth, more or less. They then changed. So I was in supplements for about 10 years. So
bro, you're telling me I'm a meth addict, basically.
That's what it was.
A recovery,
man.
Hey, I picture Xander like on the dance floor in White Chicks. You know, Terry Crews, how he's dancing.
Yeah, Xander doing. Man.
I was doing these ones with one of my eyes, just going.
Did you ever come down though? Because I couldn't touch that stuff. Like I would touch it, I'd feel anxious for about 4 hours, then depressed for the rest of the day. I was like,
it still doesn't come down.
I had to stay
about 10 years ago.
Yeah, I'm still recovering from it. No, but but I tell you, I actually worked the next day from that, and I remember like the whole day I was like flying, and then around about say midday 1 o'clock, I was like, mate, and I was like, no, that's the worst thing ever, and that's why I'd say to this day that was laced with GOE or some sort of amphetamines.
It was illegal. It was illegal, as close to meth as you could. I'm pretty sure, or something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Which then got banned. It's still kind of. So what they ended up doing was they changed a couple molecules and then turned it into another ingredient called DMHA. I think it is. I get the initials mixed up. And then that was okay for about 3 years or so, but then they took that off the market as well. But every now and then you can still find the product with that ingredient in it. I don't touch that stuff. It's too strong for me, but it's
so basically you're not going to go with that name, obviously, after this conversation.
With the Jack, hey, we could still use it, man. Like, I mean, that's us. We're just,
That's it. It's all good. It's all good. But thank you for clearing that up. Seriously, it's about 10 years in the making, but thank you.
There you go, man. Not a problem.
Do you still watch the current product?
Not really, man. I've tried to give AEW a go, and it's a little bit of struggle city. I pulled out months and months ago, but with the current roster, I might give it another try. WWE stuff I don't really watch. I have the network, so I'll check out like Bron Breakker's matches every now and then.
Great wrestler, shit name.
Well, hey, that alliteration, man. That's gonna take him to the top.
No, but like, why go Breaker when he's a Steiner though? I don't get that.
Oh, is that,
like, that's my personal opinion. Like Steve Steiner or Simon Steiner or something stupid.
Even Bron
like
Steiner, like whatever.
No. You know, Vince likes his Roman Reigns, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
he likes that
power names. Yeah.
So and I guess it's you know how it is, man. Copyright. You can't copyright Steiner. You can copyright Breaker.
So who's he? Is he? I don't watch the new product, so I don't know. I didn't watch too much of it. Is he?
He's Rick Steiner's son, but he comes across a lot like Scott Steiner. But he's got this really shit Goldberg tattoo on his shoulder, which it's kind of annoying every time I see that.
Can't he use a Steiner name then? If it's
no, that's what I'm saying. I think it's because they want to control the name. So if he leaves the company,
that's right.
Yeah. So they've gone with Bron Breakker.
So, fair enough. So before we're talking about Lee Moreau, he's my favorite wrestler of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
Lee Moreau as well, man. When it comes to Aussie wrestlers, no joke. Lee Moreau has always been from the moment I saw him, I was like, that guy, that's money right there. That's he's got the look, he's got the wrestling skill, he's got the personality. You know, it's
he's got good mic skills.
Good mic skills, yeah.
Do you know? It's funny you said that, money, because it's before I started wrestling with VCW, and I went to a show before I started. I remember watching Lee for the first time, and that was what he really stood out for me. I'm going, this guy is money. Oh man, this guy, he's got it all. You know, he had his rig, good mic skills, good wrestler, smart ass. Like he was tops, man. I thought, you know what, this guy's really good.
Yeah, man, I think so too. I was trying to tag with him like 4 or 5 years ago, and He just shunned me. He blew me off. He was like, nah. But here we go. This weekend in Padstow, it's we had one tag match. This is a return tag match.
Nice.
We're back.
Oh, nice.
We're back. So it'll be the most jacked 3D men in all of Australian wrestling.
Perfect.
He doesn't like to talk about it, but I beat him once, just to let you know.
He's a jobber.
Nah, he's good. He's good.
He's a jobber. It's all right.
So what actually inspired your gimmick?
Good question, man. So when it comes to the tag team domination, let's give it a little bit of a. Can we see the t-shirt there? Domination.
Oh yes.
Give it a little bit of a plug. The concept of the tag team was I'm a fan of the Steiners, right? I'm a big fan of suplexes and I'm a fan of the Steiners, hence the suplexes. But I'm also a fan of like the big rugged tag teams, whether it was the Legion of Doom, whether it was Terry Gordy and Dr. Death, Steve Williams in All Japan. I love their stuff. Hanson and Brody, who are some of the more contemporary tag teams that were big boys. But that's what it was, right? Plus, I love tag team wrestling. I've always said Perry Saturn was one of my favorite, probably my favorite wrestler, Perry Saturn. And if you ever saw him tag team, whether it was with John Cronus, whether it was with Dean Malenko, whether it was with Chris Benoit, even when he did his stuff with like Raven, just the chemistry and the way they would wrestle their matches was just poetry in motion, man. Because it was things you would see that you wouldn't see in a regular tag match, and definitely not in a regular match, right? Because you had two guys working in unison as opposed to two singles guys. And so the gimmick behind the whole Domination tag team was there wasn't a big rugged tag team in New South Wales, right? Now you've got Back Pain, which two big boys as well. That's awesome, and that'll be a great matchup if it ever happens one day. But prior to that, there just wasn't two big muscular guys, or at least two big guys. And like now I've got Lucius Wolf, who's about 6'4", 130 kilos. So probably one of the biggest guys. Yeah, in New South Wales wrestling. So that was the concept, man. It was just big fucking badass ass kicking, guys that can just throw around little cosplaying wrestlers. Just whoop, yeet them across the ring.
Let me just stop you there and just let you know that me and Zorba, we are undefeated tag team in VCW.
That sounds like a challenge there, man.
Because let me tell you, we're getting up there to Goldberg streak back in the day.
Okay,
we are 1-0.
Okay,
yeah, 1-0.
Well, that's a streak. That's a streak.
That's a streak,
man.
Yeah,
that's true. Well, that's true. AWS is always looking for tag teams. So if you guys are interested, man, there's always an opportunity there.
Xander's got to get back in the gym though. Far out. Look at him.
I'm getting sloppy, eh?
All right. Yeah. Jeez,
that can be the gimmick.
I'm getting sloppy, but I still got some. Still got some.
There you go. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I got nothing. I'm not even going to do that because I got nothing.
But it's all good.
You need 3 months. 3 months to prepare, and you'll be ready.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been in the ring with some of the best Aussie talents in Australia. Who's been your favourite opponent so far?
Tag team opponents would probably be the Vagrant Boys, which are Dan Archer and Vinnie Bronson out of Canberra. Last time I wrestled them, I told them I did not want to wrestle them for another 12 months, just because we had so many matches together. We probably had about 5 matches in a row, and I was like, man, that's get the creative juices are dead by this stage, But when it comes to actual wrestling, man, they've probably been my favorite tag team to wrestle. They're awesome and probably super underrated. They should be on more cards than they are.
Well, I haven't seen them tag, but I've seen Dan Archer, and that was about, when was it? It was last month at Padstow as well, the RSL for All-Star.
Yep.
And he was wrestling the Hope from the top rope.
Yes.
Mate.
El Jag.
Mate.
Yeah. Great match.
It was one of my favourite matches. Mm-hmm. That chemistry they got together is unreal. But yeah, Dan Archer's really good. And actually, we spoke to him. He's going to be on the show probably in a couple of weeks' time, which is good. But yeah, no, very good talent. Very good talent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very good,
I've
very
seen them both
underrated.
work a tag before, and they're really entertaining in the ring too. I think I went. That's where I was seeing you wrestle one show. Actually, it was in Wollongong because I went to go and watch Hudson and Lee Moreau, and I remember you wrestling on that show, and they were tagging, and that was actually a pretty fun, entertaining match. Like I seen them do some stuff, and yeah, I can understand why they were good workers in the ring with you.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
what you want. You want good workers. You to verse good workers.
Yeah,
as well.
Well, here's a fun story for you. So our last match against them were for the tag titles. We beat them for the tag titles. But what the people watching don't know is halfway through the match, I got knocked out on my feet. Right. So meaning I got knocked out. I blacked out for the second half of the match. I have almost zero memory of what happened. I kept moving. I kept doing stuff. But I was knocked out on my feet, man. I just remember, have you ever been like super drunk and you just remember, okay, I was in this part of the nightclub, then I was in that part of the nightclub, then I remember I was over here, I was throwing up in the bathroom, and then I was in the taxi.
Yeah,
patches. Yeah, that's how that match went, man. Like I got knocked out halfway through. I just remember, okay, I'm picking up Dan, then I'm running, then I'm on the ground. It just and if you actually watch the match back, after every kind of spot, I'm just like looking to Lucius for guidance because I'm completely lost as well. I don't know what's going on, and Lucius is like, do this, do that, do that, and I was just going through. There's pictures of me and Lucius hugging and holding the belts. Zero memory. Don't remember any of that. And it wasn't until we were in the back and like we're all just like we've got the belts in our hands and we're talking about like just post match, and I'm like, I don't know what just happened.
Wow.
Like I just remember here, I remember being here, and then I don't remember anything. And then like as days progressed, those little snippets came back. But straight after the match, it was pretty much from that point, I did not remember a thing.
Wow.
But yeah, but you know, things happen. You got to get a little snug if you want to make it, if you want to make it look good.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, so far in your wrestling career, what's been your highlight?
Well, it wasn't that because you can't remember it.
Let's see.
I was going to say winning the tag team titles, but that's not something else.
can't remember that. But yeah, let's go with that though. Holding 3 sets of tag team titles at once over 2021. Because I don't think any other tag team's done that in New South Wales. Currently,
talk about strap season. That's brilliant.
Maybe years ago we had the All-Star belt, the AWS belt, and we had a belt out of Queensland called Nightfall. We still have the Nightfall tag belts. So holding 3 sets of tag team belts at the same time, that was probably an accomplishment we could pat ourselves on the back. And probably a tag team finisher. That's a highlight for me because I invented it, right? Like, so it didn't exist. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It really relies on Lucius and his just abnormal human strength because it's a stalling vertical suplex. He then drops down on one knee and keeps him in that stalling position. Wow. And I come out of the corner and spear them while he's holding him up.
Wow.
Jeez. Yeah, all right. That sounds pretty good.
You know what? So if you pull it off, that sounds like ridiculously good. Yeah.
Yeah. So and we created that. So that's probably a highlight. That's called a Gundam. If anyone's out there and they want to use it and steal it from us, you have my permission. Just keep the name Gundam. Okay, just keep it. Yeah, like those giant robots, you know, the Gundam cartoons and little figures and that. That's what
I thought. No, see, I was going to go with more like goddamn, but you've Gundam.
Oh no, it's a little bit. So one, obviously, because of my wrestling name, Goran Uriel Nikolov, Gun. So it's got to do with that. And then it's also part homage to my friend Jason Spaceman Dacey. If you guys have ever met Jason Dacey, Spaceman. No. So he started in the AWF back in 2007, I think. He was in the rookie class with me. He's gone on for, about 15 years. He's been wrestling. He's wrestled all over Australia. He's going to main event the AWS card against Lee on March 5th. But his finishing move is the Space Spear. Okay. So he kind of got into wrestling. He had his matches before I did, but we coincidentally have the same, almost very similar move set, just by chance, which is probably why we were good friends to get go, because we had a very similar thinking of wrestling. And so he's Spaceman. Those Gundams are giant robots in space. My wrestling name is Gun. So why not just kind of combine all of that, and it's
Good idea.
Gun Dam, but spelled Dam as in DAMN. Yeah.
Nice.
There we
Nice,
go.
man.
So yeah,
So you,
still the move, just keep the name.
there you
Zorba,
go.
we might do something like that.
Okay, no worries. Who's going to hold them up there?
Yeah, who's gonna be the muscle?
Hey, I told you, boys, 2
Look at
guns
that.
right here. But they're not
There we
24 inches; they're more like 12.
You know what we'll do? You hold them up there, put them down gently so they can do a handstand, and then spear them. So you can do all the work
Yeah.
yourself. I'll just
There
watch.
you go. There you go.
So anyway, so you wrestle. Obviously, you've got a few belts and stuff like that. I can see, and and you wrestle all over New South Wales. What are some of the feds that you're working for now?
Let's see. So I'm the champ up in Port Macquarie, for NCPW. I'm regularly working at the AWF shows. So, like we said, teaming with Lee this weekend. Then I slap on a mask, but it's not me. But there's a masked wrestler that really looks like me on every second Friday at Yo Loco in Penrith. Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys are
Seen
familiar
that.
with
Yeah,
Yo
I've seen
Loco.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, it looks good.
So that you guys, if you're ever in the area, definitely check it out. It's a Mexican restaurant, but they've like built a whole section to the side of their restaurant with having lucha libre in mind. So they built a lighting ring. They've set everything up. So this is a feature of the restaurant from day one that they've planned. So every fortnight there's Mexican wrestling there. So I wrestle for those guys. Wrestle for AWS. I think that's up in Suplex. I've been doing the explicit shows with like a alter ego Goran. So just because it's an 18 plus crowd of just having a little bit of fun with my character where I play kind of the inspiration was, have you ever watched that Simpsons episode where Bart Simpson, he's like in the future and he's a broke down stripper? He comes out on stage and he's like doing the gun salute, and so he's got a big gut and just like whatever.
Yeah.
That was the concept behind that gimmick, where I'm just that broke down stripper that's just wrestling. He's hanging around too long, and so so it's a bit of fun. But yeah, so that's something different.
Nice. Yeah, quite a few feds.
Yeah, man. Maybe in VCW eventually. We'll get there.
Why not? That's what I'm
never
saying.
know, man. We'll speak to the big guy.
Yeah, so we'll see. There's a wrestle you guys since you're undefeated. You know, we'll come to
Mate, it's going to be a big ask. Big ask.
Never
But
know.
you could do it. You could do
I sort
it.
of want to keep that streak going though.
We'll put you over. Don't worry.
All right,
you guys. We don't have the belts anymore, so it's fine.
Well, we have to get the belts from the Polynesian bulldozers first. So once we do that, that'll be easy. You know that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Hudson Hulk.
Yeah, easy, prolific. So yeah, easy.
Yeah, they're small. They're small lads. If you've seen them, they're not very big at all. No. So
they're definitely guys I want to wrestle though. Like I think that'll be fun. That'll be just a big, just just I want to have like a all Japan. Like I said, all Japan 90s. Back in the 90s is some of my favorite wrestling, where they're just dropping each other on their necks. That minus the neck drops, that is some of my favorite wrestling. That's just heavy hitting, just killing each other. So I think we could have a brutal solid match against those guys.
Well, to be honest, they've been absolutely like terrorizing the tag division there in BCW. So come down, mate.
Sounds like they need some opponents.
I was going to say, Xander, are you going to put Hudson Hulk in the Gundam?
Oh, you have no idea. Both of them, like one on each arm.
I think you can do it. That's it. And then just drop down on both knees and then Chris can do like a flying spear and collect both.
Oh, mate, sounds so easy. Perfect.
That would be perfect. Yeah.
But what are your goals in the future in terms of your wrestling career?
Good question, man. Just have fun, dude. Just have fun. Like I there's going to be a little bit of break with my tag team. Lucius will be moving down to Melbourne after March.
Amazing.
So that's really kind of because all I wanted to do was tag team wrestling. Like I wanted to be a tag team wrestler. That's all I've been interested in. We pushed really hard in 2021. Like I said, we got 3 sets of tag belts. We went pretty hard. Now that we have to split up for the time being, it's a shame, but at the same time, we kind of made our stand. So now what comes into 2022, 2023? I just want to have fun, man. I'm not really too stressed about it. Take a little bit of the pressure off. It's like, 2021 was like the pressure year. It's like, let's establish the team. Let's be somebody's. 2022, 2023, just keep the momentum somewhat going, but I guess focus more on my singles wrestling, which good luck to my cardio, because that's one of the best things about tagging, right? You don't need cardio.
That's why I like tag team wrestling.
Yeah, me too.
You can
man.
just
Me
stand there
too.
and watch,
Yeah.
unless you're not the hot tag. You know what I
Even
mean?
then, I mean, if you're the hot tag, you've been on the outside.
If you're
for the last
hot tag,
5
it's
minutes.
perfect because you last 2 minutes.
Ah.
Just come in, clean
Yeah.
house.
That's it, man. So now I guess that's probably what's in store for Goran in 2022 is work on his cardio. So that's what I'm looking for, increasing my cardio vascularity.
Yeah,
Easy.
nice. Yeah, that's easily done. Easy cardio. is simple.
We say that, but nah.
You never
No,
smoked,
it's
did
hard
you?
work.
Nah, never smoked, but just not fit. Just couch potato.
Yeah, me too, man. No, yeah, me too. So you've got a few titles now, obviously. How many titles are you actually holding?
Oh no, right now it's only 2 because we just lost the AWS title last show in Bexley to Zuzu, the Muscle Clown, and Malice. If you're familiar at all with those 2 guys, Zuzu's kind of from Queensland, but I actually met him in Perth.
Yeah.
And Malice is out of Newcastle, out of Suplex. So they're both 2 just menacing clowns. Zuzu's probably got one of the best bodies now in New South Wales wrestling as well. The guy's just jacked and shredded. He's more shredded than I am. He's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen
He's
a
got-
picture of him.
Yeah,
Before. He's a big dude.
Big dude, man, big dude, and a fellow Greek as well on the.
Yeah, he is too.
Zorba.
Yeah, actually, I've never met him, but yeah, I've seen pictures and stuff like that. And
Yeah. So we dropped the tag belts to them. Right now we've only got those Queensland belts, the Nightfall Championship tag belts, and like I said, I'm the NCPW heavyweight champion. So I think we've got a show in March. So I'll be up there defending it again. And yeah, that's it, man. 2 titles, 2.
And you have a little bit of the your Macedonian heritage too on your trunks, and sometimes, not all the time. Is it?
Right. So that was the original gimmick. So, when was it? It was after I left Perth. In Perth, I was just a generic all black whatever. Just obviously still finding myself.
The default character
then-
in the WWE.
Yeah, the default. That's it, man.
just wearing
And
the
then-
trunks for the what do you call it? The skins that the chicks wear. What do you call it from Kmart? Just the tight pants and
Yeah. Well, I mean,
wrestling
yeah,
shoes.
that could work. Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah, it's
No,
it.
I always wore the trunks, just the undies. Got to show off the package. But yeah. So then, when I came back to Sydney, again, I was just looking for something different, and there just isn't any really Macedonian. Now there is with Alex Volkanovski, but prior when I was started wrestling,
Volkanovski. That sounds like Vulcan, like a Macedonian Vulcan. Volkanovski.
yeah.
That's gold.
So,
That's
hey
gold.
man, he's a UFC champion.
Yeah,
Um,
I've seen he's a good dude, man.
Yeah, so and he's at Wollongong. But prior to that, there was just no Macedonians in any kind of athletic or any kind of endeavor. So I was like, why not, be the Bruno Sammartino for the Macedonians, do something a little bit different. There's Macedonians in Australian wrestling. I'm pretty sure Gino Gambino is Macedonian, but
Really?
like
Is it?
I've never
okay,
met the
yeah,
guy.
okay.
I've never met the guy, but I'm pretty sure he is. Sorry to ruin his gimmick. But there's no
Gambino
one
doesn't
like
sound Macedonian.
yeah. So there was no one really kind of waving the flag for us. So I thought, you know what, man, like why not? Why not have why not represent?
Perfect.
So
Yeah, no, that's great.
yeah. So that's that. So me and Chris can have like a real heated since you're doing the whole Zorba thing, I'll do the
Oh,
Macedonian
man.
flag thing again. We can probably cause a riot, really.
We
Like
did
the
like
soccer
what
games.
Do you
man,
know
we
what?
did
I
like
think I'm sorry, but I don't see the big like. I know it's a bit of tongue in cheek, but I love my
Yeah.
Macedonian brothers. Like to be
Yeah,
honest,
man.
like
same,
Yeah.
you
same.
know, like it's I don't know. I know people talk a little bit about this and that, but
Oh no,
mate,
man! It's the politics is all overseas.
yeah,
When you grow up here,
Oh,
man, like
exactly,
how
yeah.
many
We're
of
all
our
one
friends
sort of
are?
thing here. It's
Yeah.
just,
At
we're
the end
all
of the day,
wogs. That's it.
we stick together because we're the outcasts when it comes to like growing
Yeah,
up
that's
in
it.
school and that. It's the WOG kids all hang out together. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it.
No, but listen, stop ruining the work here.
All right, yeah. Let's
Stop
get it on.
ruining the
Let's
work.
get
There's
it on.
there's
Far out.
hatred here,
there
and
is.
I'm gonna knock him out.
You know, the truth is
Bring
you are a
it,
piece
bring
of
it.
shit, and then the next pay per view, I'm going to take you out. Basically,
Whenever
That's what's-
that's fine, man. That's fine. 2-on-1.
and
This-
also
this-
my
this-
tattooist also
this
is a
interview's over.
Macedonian, so I don't want to piss him off too much.
Oh,
Otherwise,
who's your tattooist?
he might draw a dick on my back or something.
Could happen. Could.
Sash,
Yeah, he did my sleeve.
yeah, nice, yeah.
Yeah. Thought so. That's why I asked. In Bexley?
No, it wasn't Bexley at the time. That's where he's actually working now. But
Would have
it was
been
at
in
Penrith Wicket Inn.
Yeah, that's where I went as well.
yeah.
Is he any good? I want to get a tattoo.
Yeah,
He's
if you
very
got a
good,
lazy
man.
$6,000 around, you'd be
Oh
right.
shit! No, don't worry about it. All right.
He's very good.
Mm.
The next question, then I'm not going to spend $6,000. Poor. Stop that. I just want to get my daughter's names. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
next question. Do you have any advice for any young, inspiring like pro wrestlers, young and up and comers, or that people want to get into the biz?
Yeah, man. My advice is there's a shit ton of information on YouTube when it comes to interviews, training seminars, and stuff like that. If you really want to get into the pro wrestling like business, there's schools everywhere, and they're gonna teach you the moves, but the actual psychology, the theory, understanding why you do what you want to do, it's not always necessarily covered, especially in the early stages of your career. So I would just recommend, like, wrestling school is what, an hour and a half maybe out of your day, 3 times a week at best. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've got 7 days a week to listen to 2 hours of wrestling at any other stage, at any other point, whenever you're doing something else. So I would say just consume as much information as possible. Because it's that adage of it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's really the theory. Understand the theory. Don't worry about the technique. Because you can get a lot more out of a match with 3 things if you know where to put those 3 things, than learning how to do so many like little cool intricate sequences. But then the crowd's still just not caring at the end of the day.
Yeah. You gotta tell a story as well. That's my main thing with wrestling, and that's what you don't. A lot of times you don't learn that at some schools. They just teach you moves.
Yeah.
But it's about telling a story.
Yeah.
That's
So
important,
yeah, wherever you can learn it, yeah, that's good. Yeah, good advice.
So, brother, any upcoming shows that the
Alright.
faithful can come and check you out? We've spoken
Yes,
about a
right
couple,
now,
but
plenty of shows. So this Friday we've got Yo Loco in Penrith. So Yo Loco is a restaurant. Show starts at about 6:37, like most shows do. That's all kind of lucha libre style type wrestling. I cannot do lucha libre, so I base myself on La Parka, LA Park, and watch
Yes.
a lot of LA Park matches. So yeah. So it's pretty
You get
much
the
just a
chair?
lot of not yet, because it hasn't gotten that wild, but I've definitely ripped off a few of the things that he does in his matches. There's a lot of crowd brawling. So you can see me there. Saturday night, I'm tag teaming with the man, Lee Moreau. So, and we're against two of the heaviest wrestlers in New South Wales, just big, round, solid boys. So that's really gonna test our strength. And then the Super Show, okay, and this is the one that I'm going to recommend to all the fans of pro wrestling that are listening, at Bankstown Sports Club on the 5th of March. Okay, we've got Lee Moreau, the champion of AWS. He's defending against Spaceman Dacey, who's been multiple-time VPW champion, Venom Pro Wrestling champion in Queensland. He's won multiple tag team belts. I think he's held around 7 or 8 belts. In the past, we've got him main eventing. We've got the return. This is the really, really big one. We've got the return of the Eagles brothers as a tag team, Ryan Eagles and Robbie Eagles. Yeah, we'll be teaming against Domination. So that is going to be an epic encounter. I am shitting myself, but that's going to be an epic match. We've got a 12-man Rumble. We got Zuzu the Muscle Clown in a trios match, so they're out there. Mikey Lord is there. Who else? We got B-Boy. We got Captain Keto, or just Keto now, as he's known, the leader of the moment. And we have one match that won't be announced, I think, until Monday. Now I don't know if you've listened to AEW and all the posts, and they talk about the Forbidden Door. Have you seen that on?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So the Forbidden Door. So that's one thing with AWS that they've really tried, is to have matches that you don't normally see anywhere else. Because obviously there's a little bit of politics in Australian wrestling and New South Wales wrestling. They've had a lot of guys that wrestle in competing companies wrestle each other in AWS, right? So otherwise they would have not wrestled anywhere if it wasn't for AWS, just because of if you work for one company, you can't work for another company. Having said that, on Monday, I think personally, like I'm popping for this massively. There is a Forbidden Door that was open that's going to be announced. I don't know, maybe some people won't care. I think I would never have dreamed that this match could happen, because it's just two competing. It's two top guys from two competing companies that you never thought you'd see wrestle, and they're going to be wrestling on this AWS show. So that's that. Yeah, can't say anything just yet. It's going to go up on Monday. I know that they're going to advertise it. They're going to promote it. If you're a fan of Australian wrestling, and if you're an Australian wrestler, so I'm looking at you two. If you're an Australian wrestler, I would say buy tickets to this show. That's you, man. Buy tickets to this show just because. Yes, because it's a moment that you're not going to see again. Like, I'm pretty confident this match will never, ever, ever, ever happen again. And this is, remember, I'm not to build it up too much. This is just the Australian scene. This is the New South Wales scene. There's no one interstate or anything like that coming. But you're getting two top guys of two companies that'll never cross paths again. Okay, don't try and take a guess. Man. I can see that.
I'm trying to figure it out. Figure it out.
Don't try and take a guess. Because I can't say anything. It's
What's that? Sorry,
my poker face.
No, sorry. I was about to call Lee. Just give me 1 second. Lee, what's this match, mate?
No, I won't even ask him. It's all right. I won't.
That sounds so enticing. And look, whoever's listening, and obviously, we're all wrestling fans here. Go and check it out at Bankstown Sports. What was the date again? March
5th of March. 5th of March. 5th. So
5th.
Saturday. It's the first Saturday of March. And I should say it's for the RSPCA. So it's a charity event. It's not going to us. It's going to them. Tickets are just a little pricier than normal, but that's one, because it's in a really nice venue, and two, because all the money is pretty much going to charity, right? It's going to the RSPCA. They've just done that no kill law, which is really good. If you've seen in New South Wales, where shelters can't put down animals anymore. But that also means that shelters are going to need, but that means they're going to need a lot more money as well, right? Because now they're going to have to feed these animals that in the past they would have sadly have put down, but now they need to feed them. So we do need to raise money for this charity. So all proceeds are going to a good cause. And yeah, man, 5th of March, Bankstown Sports Club. It's a big venue, good venue. And it's a hell of a card. Robbie Eagles and Ryan Eagles back together again.
Like, that's the thing too. Like, you got Ryan Eagles, one of the most respected wrestlers in Australia, and then Robbie obviously killing it in New Japan. So it's going to be absolute barn burner. Guys, don't forget to get your tickets for that event. But buddy, that'll do us for today. Thank you very much for coming on. Really enjoyed it. Hope to see you again sometime soon. Obviously, we're going to come to that AWS and and cheer you on.
Hopefully we do.
But guys, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page. Also like our Facebook page. This is us signing off. See you next time.
Gotcha.